right, I'm going to give it a few more minutes for people to hop on. Okay, give me a thumbs up if you are excited to make your fairy. Anybody excited to make that fairy? Anybody out there? All right, as we are making the fairy, if you have questions, feel free to type them into the comment box and I will answer them as best I can, as quickly as I can. I have my oldest with me who will be reading me the questions since I will be focused on those fairies and not being able to see. Plus I have my phone up high, so I won't be able to see any of that stuff. Oh, yay! I'm happy to hear that you've been looking forward to this all week. Me too. Making fairies is fun. All right, we got another ready. Woohoo! Okay, well, I just have a couple examples. So this is the Spring Fairy, the new kit that I released a couple weeks ago. So she's just kind of a lemon yellow with a coral dress. And then this one I did, geez, I think 2017 maybe? It's been a while. She was my summer solstice fairy, so I did colored wings for her. So I just want to give you guys examples of all the different kinds of ways that you can kind of change your fairy up. So she's got, you know, a braided headband there, a little braid here, and then I did a braid on top of her head. You can't really see it because it's the same color as her hair, but she has a braid. And then this is a variation of a rainbow fairy that I'm thinking about making for a kit. I haven't done it yet. But she's got the sky blue dress underneath. And then this is representational of like the stormy weather that you get before you get a beautiful rainbow. So she was kind of a variation. I want to play with her hair a little bit, but that's something we can talk about too if you have questions about different ways to do your fairy's hair. And she just has white wings. Okay, well, if you go ahead and get your supplies out, and I'll put her over here so you can see her. You're gonna need your wool ball and your pipe cleaner and your skin tone color to start off with. My pipe cleaner is stuck in my wool. Okay, there we go. And wool ball. Just got turned around. There we go. Let's get some better lighting going on over here. It is a overcast day today, so I'm not getting a lot of sunlight today. I think I'll open the blinds to kind of help, but we'll see if that helps a little bit. All right. Okay. Got that skin tone. All right. Okay, so first thing you're going to want to do is take your skin tone and kind of fold it in half. And then you're going to want to gently pull apart in the middle. Now, if you're trying to pull and it's not coming apart, like I'll demonstrate, like it won't come apart, it's because the fiber links are so long that you need to pull your hands farther apart for it to release. Okay, so now you're going to want to pull off a skinny piece, and then I pet mine so it gets all the fibers together. And then in the middle, you're going to tie it. Okay. and then you'll just add the wool to the other sides. All right, now take your wool ball and you're going to put it right on top of that, and this is going to go right over. You're going to spread that. I should have turned that off. All right, well, that's going to go off probably every 15 minutes. I don't know if you guys can hear that, probably. Sorry about that. All right, so you're going to want to pull up another skinny strand. And then I like to almost twist it just a little bit. And then you're going to want to wrap that wool around the base to form your neck. And that locks all those fibers in place. And if you need to stretch them out still a little bit, you can. Make sure everything's covered up. All right, so I can still kind of see through a little bit here, so this will be the back of the head. Okay. So now you're going to want to take your pipe cleaner and you're going to fold it in half, kind of like a little U shape, little V, and lasso your fairy right below the neckline. And you're going to want to cross those arms. All right, that's my front. Okay, so now your fairy has a head, a start of a body, a neck, and arms. All right, so at the end of, I'm going to get up close, at the end of each of your pipe cleaners, you're going to want to just fold this up 1/4 of an inch on both sides. Okay. And then you're going to want to pull off thin pieces. Okay. Now I like to start right next to the neck. And then you're going to, you see how I'm keeping it flat? I'm going to keep that flat, and then you're going to just gently roll it around the pipe cleaner, over, just overlapping it a little bit. And you're going to go all the way down to the bend. I'm going too fast. Okay, I will slow down. Is there anything you need repeated or me to talk you through? Let me know. Okay, it's starting to get a little bunchy down here, so I'm trying to kind of pull that off so it doesn't get all bumpy on here. Let me get up close so you can see. All right, so I'm at the bend, and I'm going to pause here for a minute so you can get caught up. We're going to be wrapping this arm a couple of more times to build her up so she doesn't have scrawny little arms. I really don't like scrawny little arms. Oh, you're still in the head. Okay. If you need me to review anything on the head part, let me know. Oh. Hold on one second. Let me grab another thing. Alright, I got another pipe cleaner. Whoops, sorry, didn't mean to bump the camera. Okay, so you're gonna, sorry. Looks like an earthquake. So you're gonna make a little V, and then you're just gonna put it right underneath the neck area, So right here. And then you're going to cross it like that. And then it'll look like this. There's the cross. Okay, so once you get that pipe cleaner on, then like I said, you're going to start, I start here, and then start wrapping all the way down. And we're going to be wrapping and wrapping and wrapping, and we have to do both arms, so don't worry. So once we get an arm done, I'll pause again and let people get caught up. Okay, so we're at the bend, and what you're going to do is you're going to keep wrapping all the way to the end, and then we're going to be folding. You don't want it to go over the edge because then it looks weird when you fold it. Alright, so I've got it bent back, and then I'm going to wrap again, wrapping over that several times. Oh, I got twisted. You want to keep that flat. Okay, so you can see I've wrapped over it. Oh, hopefully the camera will auto adjust. Jeez. Sorry. Anyway, so you can see that I've wrapped up several times to cover that pipe cleaner. And then you're just going to wrap back up the arm. Alright, so I've got this piece here. I'm just going to wrap it around there so you don't have any hanging pieces. Alright, so I'm going to get another piece and I'm going to keep going down again, but I'm going to, if you think about how your arm looks, you know, it tapers from the wrist, right, and gets larger as it goes up. So I'm going to do the same thing with her arm. So let's see, maybe one more piece might be enough. We'll see, because also we have to put sleeves on and stuff, so that'll build it up too. Alright, and now I'm going back up. So it's already starting to look more like an arm. Alright, so I'm going to do another piece since this needs to be built up. I keep bumping the camera, sorry guys. I need to be on this side. Sorry. Alright, so now I'm going to go back up. Alright, so that's one arm done. And I'm going to pause to let people get caught up. All right, just let me know when you're ready to move on to the other arm. Ready. All right, we're ready. Yes, I will show a close-up of the hand. All right. All right. How's that? I can rotate it so you can see the other side. Okay. All right, so grab yourself a skinny piece, start doing that other arm. Okie dokie. So remember to keep it flat. That way it's nice, you don't get all that bumpiness. All right, I'm at the bend. So if you need to see the hand part again, here we go. So wrapping around, so I'm actually wrap the bend part. I'm gonna smush that in, nice and tight. And then, oops, there we go. It's twisted. Okay. So we're going to wrap around that part several times to make sure. By the way, I did not mention when you were pulling the thread or pulling the wool, be careful that you don't pull too hard because then it might actually come completely off. I've had that happen. It's a bummer. All right, so I've wrapped it several times so that the pipe cleaner is completely hidden and it won't poke you. We'll just go back up. All right, I'm going to take that tail from when we started and wrap that around. But you can see here it got a little bit bumpy from where it was like a tiny bit of wool. It was like a little strand or whatever. So that it kind of dug in a little bit. There's a piece of black in there I'm trying to pull out. I'm not super worried because I'm going to go right back over it with another piece, so it's fine, but you don't want that to be on your finished arm, you know, if you were doing a sleeve or something. Alright, another skinny piece. So I'm going to like kind of pull off the little frayed end there so I don't have that problem again. Oops, sorry. I'm standing next to the camera, so it's hard to do this. Alright, and if your arms aren't like perfectly symmetrical, it's no big deal. Alright. Okay, got both arms done. Give you a chance to get caught up there. And the next step, we're going to be building up the body. I'm going to turn her head a little bit. Just like there. Sometimes other colors of wool get on there. Okay, if you've caught up, you can go ahead and pull off some links of the skin tone, and we're going to start building up that body in a second. Okay, who is ready to move on to the next step? Okay. Ready? It's the downside of using your phone. Okay, so you're going to want to take a piece of the skin color, and then you're going to basically be going across like a sash to build up. Here, let me make sure I'm on camera. Okay, so you're going to be going around like a sash. So we're going to build up her body. All right, so that's one side. Then you're going to want to do it again on the other. Okay. We're going to repeat that one more time on each side. Oops. I lost my grip on there. Sometimes you're going to have pieces come off. That's okay. Just put those away over there. All right, one more on this side. Okay, and then you can take your tails and wrap it around what would theoretically be her waist. All right. So the next step is when we're going to be doing the under layer. So on this particular fairy, it's the yellow. Sometimes it's like this one, it's orange. Sometimes it's white. It's whatever color you have decided. Oops. When you're ready to go to the next step, let me know, and we will start up again. I want to give you time to get caught up. Ready? Okay. All right, so I'm going to fold this in half and pull it apart in the middle, putting the other side over there. Okay, so for the undershirt, it's in the same wrapping situation that we just did, except you're going to be doing the colors, and we're also going to be wrapping the arms. So for the sleeves. Now you don't have to do that if you want her to have a sleeveless dress. Totally up to you. I'm going to wrap her arms though. Okay, so I'm going to start with the arms. Alright, so this time I start at the wrist. So I'm going to pull off that little end piece so it's not such a tapered end. Alright, sorry I didn't mean to bump the camera. I'm going to rotate. Okay, so I'm going to start at the wrist area with the wrapping. It's easier if you can hold the length over there. You see, that way you don't have to worry about getting it perfect at the end there. And then you'll just wrap right over this piece that I'm holding with my thumb. Okay, so be gentle. If you pull too hard over this, you'll smush the wool that you're wrapping on top of. Okay, so now that I've done that, I'm going to just wrap it across here and around to lock that in place. Okay, now I'm going to do the other arm. Make sure to pull off those scrabbly looking bits there. Oh, and I got a piece of debris in here. Whoopsies, gotta get that out. Okay. So same process. We're going to have a little bit over here that you're going to just kind of hold in place. And starting at the wrist, I want to wrap it, not too tight. Okay. We got everything covered, and then we will wrap it across here and around the bottom. Obviously we're going to wrap this too, because otherwise she'd look pretty silly. I'll give you a second to finish wrapping, and I'm just going to pull off some thin pieces for the rest of her top. Okay, everybody having fun? I wish I could see everybody's fairies. That would make it more fun for me. I might have to do one of these as a zoom and then I could see. That would be fun. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and start wrapping up the rest of her top. So, you're going to want to just sash it again. I'm going to pet that so it locks together a little better. Oops. Alright. So, I'm going to line it up with the empty spots we've already got going on here. Alright. You can fan that out a little bit so it's not so bulky. I don't know how to turn it off without exiting out of the video, so I apologize. Alright, so we're going to wrap again because you can see we're not all the way covered here. Go that way. Oops, sorry, bumping the camera again. Alright, so I'm going to fan this out a little bit to get better coverage under that arm. Alright, so I'm not going to stress about it too much because again we're going to put another layer over the top of this, so not something to really worry about getting it perfect. Snag the back of her head with my nail. Alright, that looks a little bit better. Okay, I will pause there, let people get caught up. Now I like my fairies to have kind of a poofy skirt. Like this one, I didn't really put much underneath so it's not as poofy. I like them to be poofier. So we're going to do a skirt underneath and then kind of the chemise over top because I like that fullness. You don't have to do that if you like this and you don't like it as full, then you don't have to do that. But I like it a little puffier. So like, yeah, this one's got a skirt, a white skirt underneath to give it more of that fuller look. Alright, so I'm going to just do yellow for the skirt too. Alright, you can give me a thumbs up when you are set to move on to the next part. Perfect. Okay, so the remaining yellow wool I have is the other half. So you're going to fold that in half. And then in the center, you just want to pull that wool apart a little bit, make a little hole in there. And you're going to stick your fairy body through the hole there. Now this is where you're going to need your needle. And if you've got a felt pad or a large sponge, okay, so I'm going to lay her on there. I'm going to have to turn to the side here. Okay, so you're going to want to bring your skirt together to form a little top. And just really gently kind of poke that in place. Flip her over and do the same for the back part. Okay. That way it's on there. And then you're going to turn her sideways. I'm going to bend her arm to make it easier. Okay, so you're going to want to take right here where this loop is, and then you're going to want to go right into the side. So I'm going to kind of show you. You're going to go right into the side here, but through this loop. So what's going to happen is you're felting, it's going to close up those sides. And you're going to do the same kind of thing when you do the hair. It's the same concept. So it just brings the sides together, closes up that skirt. Okay, so if you look closely, you can see those needle holes. Kind of give you an idea of what's happening. Oh, and I'm using a 38 needle. You can use a 38 or a 40. The 40 is a little bit of a finer needle. The 38 I consider kind of the workhorse needle. You can do pretty much everything with that. All right, so I'm going to do the other side. I'm going to bend that arm too. Same thing, you're going to want to go right into the side of the body there. You don't want to go in too far because you'll go all the way through to the other side, and that's not good. It pushes the felt right back, the wool right back out the other side. And I mean, the barbs are only up to here, just so you don't really need to go. It's almost halfway up the needle, just past halfway up. So that's why you also don't need to go that deep. Okay, so the sides are closed. This side might be need a little bit more done. So if it's not closing all the way, then go to the bottom of your loop there and felt in more. It'll help it close. And then I'm also gonna pet it into shape a little bit. Alright, I'm also going to felt this part up here down a little bit, make sure that skirt's really attached so it doesn't come off if it gets pulled on or anything. Okay, so I will pause here, let you get your skirts all attached properly, and then we will do the chemise part, then it's hair and wings, and then we're done. Okay, perfect. All right, so I've got my chemise dress color right on time already. The alarm went off. All right, I'm pulling off a skinny piece to use for the belt. All right, and then we're gonna fold it in half just like we did to make the skirt. And put a little hole there to go over her head. So you're gonna need to make it a little bit bigger to go over her head. Okay. Now you can either have it tie in the front or tie in the back. I think I typically tie in the back. Yeah, all of my fairies here, I tie in the back. All right. Actually, you know what I do? I usually start in the back. Hold on. All right, so where her waist is, that's where you want your belt to be. I'm going to roll those ends a little bit so that they're not so fluffy. All right. So I tie in the center. Sorry, I bumped the camera. So yeah, I'm right at the waistline. And I pull it pretty tight. And then I flip her over and tie the bow on the back. Now, you could have the bow in the front if you'd rather. Totally up to you. Trying to make my bow a little smaller, but keep it tight. All right, and then I just comb it back into the wool, into the back of her dress. Okay. Now, I'm actually going to split this down the front so you can see the yellow underneath. So I'm going to slide this wool over on each side. You don't have to do that. Obviously, I didn't do it on this one. It's up to you. And then I just pet. Okay, so you can see it's really fluffy up here. I don't like that. So I pull the wool down on the front and the back to fix that really gently so you don't wreck it all. That would be sad. All right, so I'm going to stretch that up there, but I'm going to, oops, I keep hitting the camera. And pull that down. Now, if you like it fluffy like that, then you can leave it. It's all about what is good to your eye, what you like, how you want it to look. All right, so I like it better that way. Now I gotta fix my dress. She's all askew. Okay, so I'm just gonna pet everything together to get that point that you typically see. And if when you're doing that, you pull off some of this, it's okay. All right, how's everybody doing with their dresses? Everybody happy? Have any questions? Just let me know. I'm going to keep messing with mine for a minute. It's this part that's bugging me. It's just too puffy right there. That's better. Now it's like that over here too. Oops. Ah! Well, I might just have to leave it and just accept that's how it's going to be. It's fine. She's lovely. Okay, so another thing you can do is you can kind of sculpt a little bit with a needle if you want to. You don't have to. So if you wanted to like have the neckline kind of go in a little bit more, I'm going underneath, kind of tucking it in to create more of a finished looking neckline. Try to angle it so you can see. Okay, so you can see the difference between this side and this side. And all I'm doing is tucking it under and poking the needle in. Okay, so that's one way you can sculpt, and obviously this is bugging me. So I can just go through and just needle felt that down a little bit, and then it won't be so puffy, and I won't have to worry about ruining everything I just made by keep pulling on the wool, you know. And that side's bugging me, so I'm going to fix that too. Oh, okay, that's much better. All right. Who's ready to do hair? Now, if you're planning to do any kind of braiding or anything like that, then you want to pull off that piece before we start trying to attach the hair. I think I have too big of a piece of hair. My goodness. I'm just going to have Rapunzel hair if I use all this. All right, let me pull some of that off. Yeah, that's more reasonable. All right, you can decide beforehand how long you want the hair to be by just folding it in half, because it's basically just gonna, you know, that's it folded in half. I can see her hair is really long here. And I mean, this one, she has pretty long hair. Whoops. Okay, so it's up to you. Like, I don't think I've got any right here that have short hair. But yeah, you could do short hair. You could do a bun or like an updo kind of thing. Those are a little bit trickier. You could do the braid. She's got the side braid going on. Or, you know, this one's got some flowing locks there. It's almost on cue. My chair is loud. Just give me a thumbs up as soon as you're ready to do that hair. Okay, perfect. Okay, so I am going to pull off a little bit of hair so that I have options. Okay, so basically, if you hold it with your finger in the middle between the two pieces, well, it's one piece, but two sides, sorry. Don't want to be confusing. And just literally put it right on top. Now, I like to pull it forward a little bit, okay? So it's going to look weird in the back, but it's going to be fine, I promise. Okay. So I keep the front a little loose. Now, first decision you need to make, do you want it side part? Do you want it middle? However you want to part the hair. I typically do a side part. So I feel like right there is where I'm going to start my part. Okay, so we are going to felt down in a line all the way to about right here. All right. So do a couple of pokes in the same hole and then move on down your line. Now I'm just going to go back over those lines a couple of times, and I still need to go a little bit further down back. I wish I had better lighting here. Max, will you hold this up so that I have a little bit better lighting? It's hard to see because it's dark brown. All right, I'm going to put that under the light. I don't want the light on the screen. Okay. So hopefully you can see that part line there. All right, and then I'm going to turn her around and bring the hair to the back. So this is kind of like when we did the skirt. Okay, so you can see this section here. So I'm going to start poking that section to bring those sides together. But you're going to want to go this way. So you're pushing that wool into the back of the felt ball and into that part line that you created. You turn to the light off with your finger. It's contact light. Try to keep it off the camera. All right. So it's almost completely closed. Okay, let me just pet that. All right. So you can leave the back like this if you want, or you can bring this together to the side and do a braid, or you could roll this on each side. And then we could sculpt it if we needed to. But yeah, you can just kind of roll it, you know, and then do like a little kind of bun thing here. Obviously, you would keep tweaking that to get that right. But anyway, it's up to you. I think I'm going to do a braid. So I'm going to lay her down. Sorry, I didn't mean to hit the thing. Okay. Okay, you're not paying attention. And you're turning. Okay, the camera's on. All right. Keep it off the screen, please. All right, so I'm going to like kind of pull that down a little bit. It's bulging up. Okay, so I've got like these long, scrawny pieces. I'm just going to pull those off. All right, and I have some yellow left over, so I'll use that as the little hair ribbon. Tie that off. All right, be a little easier if I rolled the ends. All right, I'll make my bow smaller. Okay, and then you can just pull. Okay. So now the front of her hair looks weird, but we'll fix that, don't worry. Don't worry, she's not going to stay like that. And then we can sculpt this little bump there that would bug me. All right, I'm going to give you a second to get caught up before we move forward. Mm-hmm. I'll turn my light off. I wanted that back. What are you doing? Give me back my lamp. I'm trying to make sure I've got good lighting. It's dreary outside. There we go. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and start tweaking the front of her hair there a little bit. So I want to bring this part in a little bit to cup her head. Now, when you go to sculpt the hair, you've got to have a really light hand with the felting, because you don't want to wind up with the felting holes in our hair. So you can see I'm just being really gentle with the poking. Just kind of want to bring down some of the fluff a little bit. Okay, so I've got it contoured a little bit more. And if you do get any holes, you can just kind of rub your finger along it, and it'll help get those little divots out. Now this bump in the back of her head is seriously bugging me. So what I'm going to do is kind of hook my needle into it and just pull down and then felt in. It's kind of going into the braid, making it look like it's just part of the braid. So let me see. Still a little bumpy, so we're going to work on that some more. I don't like that. Alright, and because now this side looks a little bit puffy in comparison, I'm just gonna kind of bring it down into that first part of the braid a little bit. Obviously being careful not to go too far through, so I will stab my thumb if I do. Alright, and I also kind of made a bump right there that I now have to fix. Alright, so now I'm just gonna pet it. When in doubt, just pet it. It'll help smooth things out. Okay, that's so much better. That is so much better. Alright, now we gotta fix the front, because the front's kind of a mess. So remember that technique where, yes, the stabbing really hurts. I've gotten myself good plenty of times. Usually when I'm trying to do talk while felting and I'm not looking, yeah. Or I forget my fingers underneath, something like that. Not good times. Okay, we're going to use the same technique that we did here to kind of make this neckline look a little bit better. So it's the same kind of thing. So I've got well, actually it wound up being almost a middle part. Well, I had a side part, I will say. So I'm just going to tuck in that layer. Real gentle. I'm noticing some of my wool around my head is loose. Not sure how that happened. But if that happened to you, I'm just going to pull that down and to the neck, belt it into the neck a little bit. Alright, that's better. Okay, so I still have some of these brown parts loose up here. So, keep going around there and getting them all tucked under. Now, I want it to be a little bit more defined around her face. So, hold on. Just how I'm standing here. I think I could just tweak it a little over here. Just a little closer there. I gotta check how it looks back here. Alright, we're good. Okay. Now, if you want to, you can do like I did here and create a headband. If you've got leftover colors from the skirt or the dress or a complementary color, you could do that. Or if you want to get fancy, you could make a hat. I think I'm just going to do a headband, just like a twisted one. So I'm just going to grab my two colors and put them together and just twist. Alright, so I'm just going to twist. I'm going to go underneath her braid. Yeah, that's good. Okay. And then I'll just pull off those extra pieces a little bit. Okay, that looks nice. I like that. Alright, she's looking snazzy. She's ready to go to the spring ball. Okay, so now all we have left is the wings. And then you guys are done. You've created a beautiful fairy that I can't wait to see pictures of. Alright, so you can do white wings like I did here. Or you could do colored wings like I did here. Totally up to you. Since I've already got one with white wings, I think I'm going to do some multicolored wings here. Alright, my white is too long. Now if you want really big wings, you can pull your white in half and stack it. So you have big, full wings. I'm going to move her to the side so you can see my wings. Okay, so I'm going to add some of this coral. Really like this coral, it's so pretty. And I've got a little bit of yellow left. I'm going to do a blending technique. Or I'm going to just pull it apart. And kind of blend all those colors together. Okay, that's fun. I like how that looks. Okay. Alright, so skinny piece of white or one of the colors you used, and you're gonna tie it in the middle. Nice and tight. Okay. Now I'm going to fluff out mine. Okay, so there's my fluffed out wings. Alright, I'll lay her down, move her hair. Make sure this is tight. Okay. Alright, I'm going to lay it there for a second, give you a chance to catch up, then we will attach them. I'd like to hear from you too. Is this your first fairy you've made? Have you made lots? Is it easier than you thought? Oh, first time felting anything. Awesome. Yes, it is. It's easier, I think, too, than most people think. Alright, let's go ahead and attach those wings. So, you're going to be felting right where you tied the wings together there. I don't know why I keep saying together. Where you tied it in the middle is where you're going to actually be poking right into the back. Okay. So, don't go too deep because you'll come right out the front of the fairy, which would be real sad.
Would be sad.
Yeah. Oh, and also, be careful because you could hit the pipe cleaner, which could break your needle if you hit that hard, because there's metal inside of it. So I like to give it a little tug. I think it needs a little bit more, just to make sure it's on there good. Yeah, if I pull it, you can see the threads that connect it from the wool being pushed in. All right, so we will flip her over, move her hair to the side, fluffer skirt. Awesome. All right, she is ready. I'll lay her down, move that one over, and you can see. Okay, so I hope you guys had fun making your fairies, and if you share your picture or of your completed fairy, or if you share a picture of you working on your fairy during this video on social media, Facebook, Instagram, using hashtag creating with happy hedgehog post and tagging me so I can see it, you will be entered to win a needle felting prize pack. So I'm going to put a bunch of different colors of wool in there, and core wool, and needles, and a felting pad, and some pipe cleaners and wool balls so you can make more fairies, or you can work on other projects with all of that wool. So there'll be one winner, and I'm really looking forward to seeing your pictures. It's kind of lonely when I can't see other people's work. I'm used to being able to see it in a live class in person. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing how it went. And if you have any questions, I'll stick around for a few minutes. You can ask some questions if you've got any. Actually, that goes off.
Way to break the silence.
Yeah, next time I do a live, I'll make sure to turn off those alarms. Oh, and I have another question. Is anybody interested in a needle felted Easter egg class? So we'd only make one egg just to help you learn how to make them.
Can you put the text to use in the comments?
Yes, that is a good question. Yes, I can do that. Let me see if it'll let me. Okay, there we go. All right. Okay, there we go. Awesome, I cannot wait to see it. Does anybody have any other questions? You love to felt eggs. Awesome. Awesome. That one's a lot more heavy on the felting, obviously, than the fairies are. But they're a lot of fun, and you can do all kinds of stuff. Keep it simple, or you can create scenes on your eggs. Last year I did an ocean egg last year.
Can I be the judge for that contest?
What contest?
The fairy contest for the prize pack.
Oh, you can pull the name out of the hat, in essence. Yes. All right. Well, I will pick a date for the needle felting eggs for next week. Not too late, obviously, since Easter is a week away. Cannot believe that. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for felting with me today. And I am going to look forward to looking at your photos and figure out a date for the needle felting egg class. All right. Have a great day, guys.